सब्सक्राइब करें हमारे YouTube चैनल सुपरफास्ट न्यूज़ को और साथ ही प्रेस करें बेल आइकन ताकि आप हमारी लेटेस्ट वीडियो को देख सकें।
Good afternoon to all. This is the first time we are organizing such a meet in this university. On behalf of the university and Vice Chancellor, I am welcoming you all to this meeting. And this time actually this is organized for a specific program, and the program will be introduced by Professor Rajiv Kapoor, Professor of Electronics and Communication.
Thank you. And actually, especially when we talk about this conference, conferences are generally held. It's quite common. But why this is special? So that's a big question. But before I start, I will let you know that let me give all the kudos for all this effort and the vision to our Vice Chancellor. The idea is the moment he joined, he had a very excellent vision regarding upgrading this and uplifting of the GTU to the highest possible level. And the highest possible level is the world standards, US rankings, and it should be known worldwide. So that was the question before all of us. And we really loved his first lecture when he addressed the whole institution. And that brought the transformation also. And from here, we started actually thinking regarding whatever experiences we had and whatever we had done till now, why not to put it into a system in such a manner so that this system now uplifts the academic level of the students, plus it puts a big mark on this in the society regarding that DTU now should be known as a institution which serves the society. You must have seen, that there are so many universities, but all those universities, are they actually for which they are meant for? Are they really able to do it? Do they have any impact on the nearby people, or at least the people of the region? So that's where is the basic intent of the conference. And plus few more things like I would like to add to this, and that is why this is a unique conference, how it can actually do this big objective. So the idea is that taking projects from as such industries or from the government is again not a new thing, but taking a project from a private industry and a very small scale industry who have very hardcore time-bound objectives. They cannot survive if they don't deliver in a given time. So that was something really a challenging task. And I will again further congratulate my students and my other fellow teachers who are ready to take this challenge, and under the leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Prateek Sharma ji, and to take it to the highest possible level. And we are really determined to do this. So with these words, I will, the crux of the, this conference. This is what I have tried to explain. And of course, technically, because we have got almost 1.63 crores worth of the projects, proposals, and plus expression of interest from almost 8 industries, which is in the queue. So it means there are large number of industries, societies, even including NDMC is also ready to give us the project. And many other small, Delhi Jal Board and many other, they are also coming and going to give us the project. So this is how we are going to serve Delhi and the nearby region in true sense. So thanks again for coming here, and now I'm happy to what you say.
Sir, how was Professor Ritu. First of all, I would like to welcome all the media persons and people from the media and from various channels and both electronic and print. And as you know, Professor Kapoor has already mentioned about what the purpose of this conference is. In fact, this is something which you would realize that especially an institution like Delhi Technological University, which has created its own legacy in terms of providing quality education in terms of engineering and technology. Unless and until, usually what happens is the students that we train, they go in various industry, contribute in the normal industrial processes, and obviously, and in certain cases, they do their masters in management or, completely change over from whatever they have studied in engineering or, it's altogether a different domain of managing. Similarly, few students, they go to civil services. So that is also a way of, serving the society. But the idea was basically how the primary training that the institution imparts, which is the technology, engineering, education, how that can be utilized to solve the societal problems. So, and therefore, and obviously the students, if you typically compare with the engineering education with the medical education, you find gross differences between the two in the sense that the moment a student who enters the medical education in the first year itself, is directly dealing with the target audience, which in this case is patient. And he or she is basically exposed to the person that he has to serve or whatever, has to contribute, and for which he is gaining his knowledge or her knowledge throughout the period of 4.5 years. So there is a direct one-to-one, interaction with the patient, and the OPD visits are there. So the learning is hands-on. So from second year itself, the student is basically gaining the knowledge, and also in the bargain is also contributing whatever skill he or she acquires. In engineering education, the opportunity to contribute to the industrial processes happens during the internship program that the student goes. That too is not, so that happens after say second year in certain cases, after third year in certain cases. And later on the student basically comes in the fourth year. There's a project, BTech project with their discipline ranging from specific problems related to a particular engineering domain or discipline. Comes up with a report, and that report goes in the library, and if somebody is research oriented, one is able to publish the paper in terms of, these are the indicators which you are considered as the indicators of both for the faculty members also and for the student also. And obviously this has its own what we call as incubation period, in which the knowledge that is getting created, it takes a while for come into actionable execution of the research that has been done. But then on the other hand, we felt that unless and until we as an institution are able to harness the potential and the energy and the enthusiasm of one of the best brains that the institution is able to attract, and channelize their energies to first of all, identify the societal problems and utilize their engineering skills which they have acquired over a period of time, and contribute to providing solutions to the societal problems in various domains of engineering that basically the institution has excelled. So in fact we had a initial discussion with faculty members and obviously Professor Kapoor, Professor Hindu, Dr. Rajesh, Professor Rajesh, and others also. And in fact initially we thought that let us do something in the area of identifying problems related to rural sector, where say for example even before coming to this and rural sector, and then contribute in addressing the challenges faced by the villagers, say for example providing access to clean energy, providing hygiene, clean water, sanitation. So these are the challenges which differentiate the rural areas, the urban areas and the rural. The gap. This is the gap that exists. But we actually, during the discussion within the institution, we actually it was basically suggested by faculty members like Professor Kapoor and others that urban areas also have their own challenges and problems. That of solid waste management, for example, traffic congestion, and similar problems that one can actually identify for which technological interventions are required. And the executive and the policy makers are actually looking for solutions to those problems. And obviously, because of the limitation of the executive and people who are involved in policy making and execution, the process remains the same conventional one. So the idea was to have identify problems and the challenges both in the urban and rural domain, and convert those problems into say BTech projects or MTech projects, and or minor projects depending on the magnitude enormity of the problem. And then in the guidance and supervision of teachers, supervisors, the students actually work towards those problems through the technological intervention. And then once the solution is basically identified at a smaller scale, and obviously it can be presented to scale up the same thing, and obviously would provide the necessary incubation for for the solution to a particular problem. And obviously later on, this is something I'm just spelling out exactly, stating out what exactly in the long run we intend to do. And then collaborate with industry in order to scale it up, so that it becomes, and also with the relevant ministries and the executing bodies, urban local bodies, panchayats, and so that the interventions can be made. And in fact, what we have observed, and you would also observe, that we don't really need rocket science. We just need frugal innovations, small innovations, something different which others have not actually thought of, and providing cheap technological interventions through which the solutions can be provided. One classical example is of Jaipur food, where at a very cheap cost, if you see the orthopedic industry, I mean, so much costs of implants you would find which come from the from the developed countries. So, but these small interventions have changed the character of the entire people who get amputated through these innovations. So that is what basically, likewise, there are several areas which can be identified, and on which we can actually work. The students, we can tap the enthusiasm and energy of the students and the wisdom of teachers. So that is what basically the idea was. And then come up with certain findings and recommendations, and share with with people who matter. And certainly, I mean, in order to help us, the best mechanism is to reach out to the media, so that the society gets to know that what is being done here, and how the technological interventions are basically helping in finding out the solutions of the problems being faced by the society. So that was the broad, which Professor Kapoor also mentioned. This was the basic premise and idea, and the best way of reaching out to the society, and to popularize a cheap technology which is robust and which is also providing solution and which is indigenous, is to basically utilize the most very powerful vertical, which is I would say the fourth pillar of democracy, which is the press and media. And that was the idea of reaching out to you. So these were the thoughts with which the entire exercise was initiated. And the first step in this case was to organize a conference at a small scale, and gradually we have also established a Center for Community Development and Research, which we are going to formalize. And then all these initiatives which are being taken by people like Professor Rajesh, Professor Kapoor, Professor Hindu, will be integrated with that center. And then in times to come, we'll reach out to to again identify the problems and provide technological intervention and solutions to find out the problems that both rural and urban sectors face. So these are this is the intent, this is the objective of having this workshop, and I'm very happy. I will be happy to respond any any observation or any questions or clarification.
Basically, this was started with such initiative only. He said that we should reach the media. So we are planning at least once in a month a meeting, so that we have made clusters of researches which is happening here. Like for example, science group is doing with materials, green and sustainable chemistry, conducting polymers, photonic method, lithium and batteries. All these things are actually for the sustainable development which is mentioned. Then we are doing actually within AI also research is going on, like drone technologies we are having, and now drone is used everywhere for agricultural support, or and then unmanned ground vehicle which can go and see things, come back with details. So all these things for the betterment of the society. So we have like electronics department, computer science, electrical engineering. All the departments are doing AI. Maybe it can support the power grid or connecting solar to the main grid. So many researches are going on. And similarly in mechanical engineering department we have automobile, biodiesel, work on lubricants, like that. And in management side also there are a lot of work going on in economics, data analytics and entrepreneurship. So we will be meeting you at least once in a month, so that one cluster, the research component can be discussed, so that it can reach out to society. This was the aim given by sir, and that way we have started. And this happened to be the first one.
And in fact, I'll just add one more thing to what she mentioned. So usually what happens is that the report that we publish or the paper that we publish, is the normal, the person on the street is not able to understand, because there are certain scientific jargons, limitations which are there. So what we want is basically to convert that into a sort of in a manner which is basically understood by the person on street, and the relevant stakeholder which is who's there, so that the jargon of science and mathematics which is involved is eliminated, and the masses are able to understand the interventions that have taken place.
Questions?
तो जी आपने कहा काफ़ी उसमें रिसर्च भी किया है, क्या कोई सर्विस प्रोवाइडर जो खास करके एजुकेशन से जुड़े हुए काम कर रहे हैं, वो सही चीज़ इसकी भी सहायता ले रहे हैं?
अभी जैसे मैंने कहा, अभी बहुत शुरुआती दिन है, मतलब और अभी बहुत शुरुआती दिन है, अभी तो एक आइडिया हमने फ्लोट किया है, और जैसे हम आपसे मिल रहे हैं तो ऐसे हम जो भी इस हमारे गेम में जो भी हमारे को मदद करेगा या फिर उसको आगे बढ़ाने में करेगा, उसको हम आगे उसके साथ जुड़ेंगे।
कितना MOU साइन होने के लिए चांसेस हैं?
MOU तो जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, तो ये
It's an ongoing process.
1.63 crore there are 13 industries, and उसमें जैसे there are 7 or 8 expression of interest additional, so they will result in the MOUs further. So MOU means that it's a kind of some product they want us to develop, to design. So इस तरह से, and you said NGOs and all that, so almost we have tried to call everyone during this conference. So मैंने बताया कि सारे ही जितने भी, जैसे कोई किसको कोशिश की है, छोटा नहीं है, CA तक बुलाया, एक CA हो गया, एक from all segments, सर ने कहा कि सारे 360 डिग्री को
इसमें आप जैसे सोशल सेक्टर में काम कर रहे हैं, बहुत सारे सर्विस प्रोवाइडर ऑलरेडी इस पर काम कर रहे हैं।
हाँ जी,
तो उनसे आपके अगर होते हैं
तो बिल्कुल जी, हमने सोशल जो सोसाइटी से जो लोग हैं जुड़े हुए, जैसे गांव से उस तरह के लोग भी कुछ में बुलाएं, तो चारों हर तरह के बुलाएं,
स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज के लोग हैं, कुटीर उद्योग हैं,
जो NGO से जुड़े हुए हैं, तो वो भी लोग बीच में एक दो बुलाएं,
टेक्नोलॉजी का इन्वॉल्वमेंट
जी। तो तो सबके विचार लिए जाएंगे और मुझे लगता है कि जो भी गुड लर्निंग
बस मैं एक और चीज़ मैं जोड़ूंगा, जैसे अब देखिए प्रयास ये है, जो कॉन्फ्रेंस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में प्रयास ये है, कोई भी अगर आप प्रॉब्लम या इशू लेते हैं उसमें खाली साइंटिफिक सोल्यूशन तक सीमित नहीं रहता है, उसमें सोशल एस्पेक्ट्स भी होते हैं, फाइनेंशियल एस्पेक्ट्स भी होते हैं, लीगल एस्पेक्ट्स भी होते हैं, इकोनॉमिक एस्पेक्ट्स भी होते हैं, हेल्थ रिलेटेड एस्पेक्ट्स भी होते हैं। तो प्रयास ये किया गया है कि ऐसा जो एक पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम है उसको मल्टीपल नज़रिए से देखा जाए, अलग अलग दृष्टिकोण से देखा जाए, जिससे कि सिर्फ एक वन डायमेंशनल सोल्यूशन ना मिले, उसका कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव हम सोल्यूशन बताएं जो कि ओवरऑल प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर सकें। ठीक है,
मैं प्रदीप कुमार मलयालम में हूँ। तो ये जो बच्चे डेवलप करेंगे सॉल्यूशन, क्या वो स्टार्टअप होंगे छोटे छोटे?
ये जो मॉडल है ये हमने जो थोड़ा हट के बनाया है। जैसे होता क्या है कि एक स्टार्टअप जो होता है ना, उसमें क्या होता है, एक स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो अपने आप नॉलेज एक्वायर करके किसी मेंटर रख के उससे उसको कुछ बना रहे हैं। अब होता क्या है कि आप देखो कि जो टेक्निकल जो स्टार्टअप्स होते हैं, आप देखिए इंडिया में नहीं बन रहे, बहुत कम हैं टेक्निकल स्टार्टअप्स। अगर कुछ हैं तो वो फॉरेन कोलैबोरेशन से चलते हैं, तो कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट डिज़ाइन नहीं हुआ। तो आप देखेंगे शार्क टैंक में भी वो स्टार्टअप दूसरे तरह के हैं जो कि और तरह से रिलेटेड हैं। टेक्निकल स्टार्टअप्स को बूस्ट करने के लिए हमें एक्सपर्ट्स, प्रोफेसर्स, ये सबको मिलना पड़ेगा। इवन जो आउटसाइड इंडिया के जो एक्सपर्ट्स हैं उनको भी ग्रुप में लगाया गया है। तो मेरे पास न्यूज़लेटर है, मैं ऑलरेडी शेयर किया है, उसमें सारे तरह के लोग, तो हर मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच लेके चला गया है। तो हर कोई हर चीज़ को नहीं कर सकता है, बट मिलके हम उसको कर सकते हैं। तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट से हम इसको सॉल्व करेंगे। इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स डिज़ाइन करने के ऑर्डर्स मिले हैं, इंडियन कंपनी है इंडिकेशन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स फरीदाबाद की, उन्होंने 25 लाख से 25 लाख उन्होंने दिए हैं इंस्ट्रूमेंट डिज़ाइन करने के लिए। और वो एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो है हमारी लाखों करोड़ों की इंपोर्ट्स को रोकेगा, बचाएगा। तो एडिशनली ये थिंकिंग हो गई, और साथ में जो बच्चे हैं वो डिज़ाइन करना सीखेंगे। नहीं तो डिज़ाइन जो होता है वो लैब तक नहीं पहुंचता है, तो हम उसको लैब तक पहुंचाएंगे और जो वो पैसा देंगे कंपनी वाले वो बच्चों तक पहुंचेगा। ये भी हमने अरेंजमेंट करना है। उनको चाहे हम थोड़ा थोड़ा करके उन्हें बांटेंगे ताकि उनको भी बैठने का, वो भी मोटिवेटेड हैं बहुत ज़्यादा, वो इसको करना भी चाहते हैं। तो हम उनको ये सब मिल के करना पड़ेगा, अकेले नहीं कर सकते। इंक्यूबेशन से ये अलग है, ये है इंक्यूबेशन बना के देना किसी को, तो ऐसा कुछ कोशिश करें। जी
अभी जो रहेगा, जैसे डॉक्टर साहब ने बताया कि अभी तो हमारा शुरू का प्रयास है, लेकिन दिशा हमारी वही है कि उसमें हम अगला स्टेप हमारा इंक्यूबेशन वाला पार्ट हुआ, फिर हम वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट को हमने आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे जो कि उसमें इन्वेस्ट कर सकें। तो पहले तो अभी तो शुरू के दिन है, शुरू के दिनों में हमने देखा कि क्या क्या हम चीज़ें कर सकते हैं और कहाँ तक उसको कितनी अभी उसकी स्कोप कितना है, लिमिटेशन कितनी है, एडवांटेज कितना आगे वो प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन प्रोवाइड कर पाता है। और फिर धीरे धीरे उसमें अपग्रेडेशन होंगी और कुछ होगा, और जब ऐसी स्थिति आएगी कि हम बच्चों को भी कॉन्फिडेंस हो और उनके सुपरवाइजर्स को भी बहुत ज़्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस हो कि अब ये ऐसी स्थिति में आ गया है कि हम किसी वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट को इन्वॉल्व करके उसको इसको आगे स्केल अप करें, एक्सेलरेट करें और आगे ले जाएँ, तो उस दिशा की तरफ ही हमारा पहला कदम है।
जी सर,
सॉरी 8-9 पिचेस भी हैं इसमें। तो बच्चे लोग जो हैं वो आपको इसमें 9 ऐसे ग्रुप्स होंगे जो आपको प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने के लिए, सोसाइटी के लिए उन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं, और वो वहाँ जो प्रेजेंट लोग होंगे उनसे फंडिंग भी मांगेंगे, और उसमें से जो भी उसमें से करना चाहे वो बताएंगे, दे विल एक्सप्लेन। जी
जी सर, कोई ऐसा स्पेसिफिक फील्ड जिसके साथ ज़्यादा क्लोजली काम किया है अभी तक, इस तरह के इनोवेशन का जो प्रोसेस है जो आप कर रहे हैं, जैसे उदाहरण के तौर पर एग्रीकल्चर को ले लें, या साथ में दिल्ली पोल्यूशन की बात कर लें तो दिल्ली पोल्यूशन एक बड़ा इशू दिल्ली में बनता है और पराली उसका एक बड़ा कारण होता है। तो उसका जो वेस्ट है उसको मैनेज करने के लिए जो सरकार के एफर्ट्स हैं, क्या उस दिशा में भी कुछ काम किए गए हैं या करने की प्लानिंग है फ्यूचर में?
मैं एयर के बारे में तो मैं स्ट्रेट अवे बताता हूँ क्योंकि मेरा एरिया ये है। तो इसमें तो अभी यहाँ पे कुछ काम हो रहे हैं
जी,
लेकिन जो अगर आप जो देखा जाए कि बहुत इलेबोरेट तरीके से, बहुत कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव तरीके से काम किया जाए,
जी,
ऐसे काम करने की बहुत ज़्यादा आवश्यकता है। केवल हमको नहीं, इवन IIT दिल्ली मान लीजिए जो अभी है, वहाँ पर भी उस तरह से जो एक एयर पोल्यूशन की दिल्ली की समस्या है, जैसे उसका कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव सोल्यूशन अगर हम देखें तो उसको इंटीग्रेटेड मैनर में हमको उसका को करने की आवश्यकता है
जी,
और उसमें ख़ासतौर पे जैसे मैं इस पर और थोड़ा सा एक बात बताऊंगा। जैसे क्या है कि आप समस्या केवल ख़ासतौर पे एयर के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जब आते हैं तो एक दिल्ली की समस्या केवल नहीं रहती है।
जी,
जैसे पानी का हम कॉन्सेप्ट, जैसे वाटर शेड होता है, तो वाटर शेड इज़ नॉट लिमिटेड टू अ पर्टिकुलर जोग्राफिकल
रीजन,
सिटी, तो वो आपकी मल्टीपल स्टेट्स उसमें इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं। ऐसी जो एयर की अगर हम जैसे पार्टिकुलेट मैटर की दिल्ली की बात करें हम, तो अगर हम मान लीजिए सारे सोर्सेज ऑफ पोल्यूशन दिल्ली के निकाल भी दें, तब भी आप देखेंगे यहाँ पे पोल्यूशन लेवल्स रहेंगे, क्योंकि जो जैसे पराली का उदाहरण दिया आपने, ऐसी जो सोर्सेज ऑफ पोल्यूशन है वो उनका खाली लोकलाइज नहीं है, वो ट्रांसबाउंड्री ट्रांसपोर्ट भी पोल्यूशन का होता है। तो इसीलिए जो है इसमें हमारा कुछ ऐसा कुछ विचार हमारा है कि हम ऐसे जो अलग अलग स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं उनके साथ मिलकर के कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कुछ हम करें एयर के एरिया में
जी,
सर्टेनली इसमें एक जो है
जी,
और जहाँ तक एग्रीकल्चर की बात है, ये इनफैक्ट जो स्मार्ट एग्रीकल्चर ड्रोन एप्लीकेशन आई थिंक प्रोफेसर इंदू इज इन्वॉल्व इन, सो हाउ ड्रोन्स कैन बी डिप्लॉयड फॉर आप थोड़ा बताएंगे?
Drones can go there and visualize the situation, and from there we will be able to, like from the video itself, we may be able to relate the moisture content and maybe if there is any fault in the fruit or in the leaf, all these things can be identified and accordingly solutions can be done. Small work has been already done in this by the students and it is published also, but anyway it has to be converted into
Collaboration.
into final product and it has to be
एग्जीक्यूशन है, ओके,
education. So it is, we are doing it, like maybe identifying whether the fruit is really
Healthy or not.
healthy to